So, my succulent slices, it's time to gather around. Papa Pepperoni has a confession to make. Come close. I wasn't a really big fan of the Alien movies growing up. I know, it's blasphemous, and I have disappointed you. But I promise this will be the last time that Papa ever makes you feel like you're alone. Yup. Need some milk. Alright, I'm going to the store. I'll be back. Alien Romulus is the newest movie in a nearly 50-year-old franchise.
Damn!
And I gotta say, this is probably the biggest hit that they've had since they put the Xenomorph in Mortal Kombat X. What a time to be alive. Playing against that cheating motherfucker. This film is shaping up to be a promising new light in the franchise. Run at a length of 119 minutes, costing approximately about $80 million to make, just to turn that thing around to make a $285 million profit, baby. So in Hollywood land, that means not only was it a box office success, baby, but that means it's in place for a sequel. Kind of like when you in Mario Kart and you like in first place. Imagine first place is some sort of fucking Marvel movie. And here comes Alien Romulus. Not the second place, but the blue turtle shell coming up right behind that man. Fuck up his life, cause it's over with.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
This director, man, let me tell you something, man. This director, Fede Alvarez, this man knows his shit. Directed the latest Evil Dead movie, which I am told is the greatest remake to ever exist. From my horror head friends, I'm not well versed in horror, but I take their word for it. This man's shaping up to be one of my new favorite directors.
Out of the way, you.
And honestly, any man that gains inspiration from a video game that he is playing, that's just my guy. That's my guy.
That's our guy.
Now, I've already told y'all that I'm not a fan, or wasn't a fan, of the Alien movies back in the day. I believe the only one that I even really recollect watching was Prometheus, and that's because it was in theaters. And I honestly didn't even know that it was an Alien movie until that act when Shorty had to cut her shit open, and I was like, is this an Alien movie? I still didn't even know that 100% sure after the movie. So, but Romulus has definitely made me a changed man. It has drove me to go back, way back, 1979 back, or 2003, because that's when the director's cut of the first movie came out. Yeah, I watched that. So I am here to say that I do not consider myself a master of the lore or a fanatic. I wasn't one of the people that volunteered for one of the face huggers as far as the advertisement goes. I'm not one of those people. And I'm sure some of you watching this aren't either. So, join me in what I would like to call the not so casual or sober guide into the Gooverse. Now, quick info dump just to speed you up. So what is an alien? There are neomorphs, brother deacons, face huggers, chest bursters, xenomorphs, offspring. Now there's a bunch in between, but all of those things are specifically referred to as the alien. And how all of those things come about is by a substance, which is just referred to as the goop. Now, what is goop? Think about the movie Flubber, but it's black. And when it gets inside of you, you gonna need a wheelchair. It turns you inside out in terrible, terrible body horror fashion. The goop. Now in Romulus, we deal with the most iconic aliens. And there's a little bit of goop there too. No worries though, because I'm not gonna spoil this for you, because I want you to watch this movie and then come back and talk to me about it in the comments. And while you're down there, hit the like button. Now, Romulus chronologically is in between the first movie and the second movie. It revolves around two siblings who live on a prison colony, and they're trying to start a new life on a not so Guantanamo Bay-like colony. The siblings are initially denied that right after spending years working off the labored hours that are required to go to said colony, because the powers that be in that particular time somehow just increase the amount of hours needed to leave the prison colony to go to somewhere else. And if you've lived in America post 9/11, you are very familiar with the concept of forced inflation. Damn, the beefy 5-layer burrito you really used to be not even a whole dollar, bro. So after that whole entire failure of an interaction, Rain and her brother Andy run into some friends that have a custodianship. And they explain to her that, yo, there's this other ship that is right above our atmosphere because it emitted a signal, but nobody really cares about it because it's abandoned. What if we get into it and it's got what we need to take us where we want to go? Sounds great. The reason why they're saying this to Andy and Rain is because this plan heavily depends on Andy coming. He is a synthetic, an android, and like for real, an android, not in the red ribbon sense. They were cyborgs. We don't talk about that enough. They were cyborgs. Android 18 shouldn't have a working poom poom. Romulus, in my opinion, does everything right from a film standpoint, and almost everything right from a franchise standpoint. Since it's a pre-sequel to Aliens, a lot of its inspiration comes from the first movie, from how the beginning of the movie starts, the introduction of the aliens, to the very last act in the movie. For just as a film, this movie has gorgeous shots, gorgeous composition, gorgeous framing. The sound design is amazing. It is eerie, it is impactful, it is pungent when it needs to be. Alvarez, in my opinion, also came up with a great concept in addition to the franchise, which is an already pregnant character. One, hasn't been done in any of the 7 movies. And 2, it was an idea that he just came up with while playing The Last of Us Part 2. Because when we think about this stuff, in a survival horror, what is the worst thing that could possibly happen? Or one of the worst things that could possibly happen? It's having an extremely weak pullout game approximately 2 months before the survival needs to start. And speaking of wrapping things up, go watch the movie, man. Go watch the movie. Go watch the movie whether you're like an old fan or a new fan like myself. Or maybe you watched the old films back in the time when they came out, Like, you watched the first or the second one and then fell off after that. But like, you see that this new one is coming out and you're just like, I wonder how far effects have come. Because just like the old films, this particular one, a good 90, if not 95% of the film is all practical effects, which is rare in today's standards. When we watch movies, like, that's not a thing. It's all CGI. So seeing something that is majority practical effects is a godsend, man. Like, real filmmaking is coming back. And like, not only is it coming back, it's so back that like, when I watch the fourth act, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but when I think about that fourth act, that shit is scary. That shit was scary, because that's how real that shit looked. And I wish more films did that. And I'm glad that, you know, after all the years, they didn't veer off from that. I know that might have been a thing with like Prometheus and Covenant, because they were made in their particular time, where like, I'm not gonna say that was the height of CGI, but like, there was definitely more CGI used in those movies than in this one. This one was straight up practical effects, people being scared, people running through hallways, a specific lighting here, that, and the third, to convey that people are terrified, to convey that people have no hope and stuff like that. I miss this type of filmmaking, man. I miss this. So grab your shorty, pay the 40 for tickets, because shit's expensive. Or if you're just like, shit's expensive and you just want to go alone, you get some static and they ask why, let your excuse be like, hey, I needed space. What's going on, world? It's your boy, your main pepperoni jabroni Maximum Supreme Pizza. Thank you for making it to the end of this rump shaking video. I hope you had a good time, because I know that I did. If you would like me to do more of these things, you can, you know, just let me know in the comments. You can also hit like, you can also hit subscribe, you can share, all that good stuff, because you know they're going to tell you to do that in order to keep me up here in the algorithm elements, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, if you want me to do a video for you specifically, you can just hit me up on my Patreon. You know, /MaxximumSupreme. There you can donate as small as just $1. Any of that goes to any of the stuff that we got going on here, whether it be equipment, cameras, tripods, liquor, just stuff that we need to make these videos happen. You know what I'm saying? We got 2 tiers. We got one where, you know, I do the whole thing, do all the research, make the video, shout you out at the end, because, you know, baby, you deserve it. You're a producer at that point. And then the tier above that, you know what I'm saying? We do all that same stuff, but a little bit extra goes to the alcohol that I drink in the video. So it's extra special for you, baby. Extra special. But anyway, yeah, thanks again. It's Maximum Supreme Pizza. Drink responsibly, and I'll catch you on the next one.